Leveraging ChatGPT-4 for creative writing tasks. Artificial intelligence has rapidly transformed the creative landscape, enabling writers to push the boundaries of their craft. ChatGPT-4, a sophisticated AI language model, stands out as a powerful tool for both non-fiction and fiction writers. This video delves into the various ways non-fiction and fiction writers can harness ChatGPT-4 in their creative writing endeavors. Non-fiction writers. 1. Generating ideas. Generating ideas is the cornerstone of non-fiction writing. ChatGPT-4 can help brainstorm a plethora of topics by understanding trends, audience preference, and niche areas. For instance, if a writer is interested in health and wellness, ChatGPT-4 can suggest topics like the impact of gut health on mental well-being or 10 mindfulness practices for everyday life. The AI can also offer unique angles on common topics, ensuring the writer's work stands out. Example: a writer planning to create a blog focused on sustainable living might ask ChatGPT-4 for topic ideas. The AI could suggest 10 easy steps to reduce your carbon footprint at home, the benefits of a zero-waste lifestyle, how to create an eco-friendly garden, sustainable fashion, how to build a green wardrobe. These suggestions provide a starting point for the writer to develop engaging and informative content tailored to their audience. 2. Doing focused research using primary sources. ChatGPT-4 excels in conducting focused research. By inputting specific queries, writers can gather information from primary sources such as academic journals, government reports, and credible news outlets. The AI can summarize lengthy documents, highlight key points, and even suggest additional resources. For example, if researching climate change, ChatGPT-4 can provide data from the latest IPCC report and summarize critical findings. Example: a writer working on an article about the health benefits of meditation could use ChatGPT-4 to find and summarize relevant studies. By asking the AI for recent research on meditation's impact on stress reduction, the writer might receive summaries of studies published in reputable journals, including key statistics and findings. This not only saves time, but also ensures the information is accurate and up to date. 3. Developing outlines for books and stories. Creating a detailed outline is crucial for organizing thoughts and ensuring a coherent structure. ChatGPT-4 can assist in developing comprehensive outlines for books and articles. By providing a brief description of the intended work, writers can receive a structured outline, complete with chapter titles, subheadings, and key points for each section. This helps in maintaining focus and ensuring all relevant aspects are covered. Example: a writer planning a non-fiction book on the history of technology might use ChatGPT-4 to create an outline. The AI could generate a structure like this: Introduction: the evolution of technology. Ancient innovations from the wheel to the printing press. The Industrial Revolution, transforming society. The digital age, the rise of computers and the internet. Future trends, artificial intelligence and beyond. Conclusion: technology's impact on humanity. This outline provides a clear roadmap for the writer, ensuring each chapter covers a specific aspect of the topic. 4. Using original human drafts and focusing the content using AI prompts. ChatGPT-4 can refine and enhance human drafts by providing focused AI prompts. Writers can input their drafts and receive suggestions on improving clarity, coherence, and engagement. The AI can help identify redundant sections, suggest rephrasing for better impact, and highlight areas that need more detail. This iterative process ensures the final piece is polished and impactful. AGA. Example: a writer working on an essay about the benefits of renewable energy might use ChatGPT-4 to refine their draft. The AI could suggest rephrasing complex sentences for clarity, adding statistics or examples to support key points, eliminating redundant information, improving transitions between paragraphs. By following these suggestions, the writer can enhance the essay's readability and persuasiveness. 5. Converting content to other forms of writing. Adapting written content for different formats such as podcasts, videos, and screenplays can significantly broaden its reach. ChatGPT-4 can assist in this conversion by creating scripts, storyboards, and dialogue suitable for these formats. For example, a blog post on sustainable living can be transformed into a podcast script with engaging dialogue and sound cues, making it accessible to a wider audience. Example: a writer who has created a detailed blog post on healthy eating habits might use ChatGPT 4 to convert it into a podcast script. The AI could generate a script that includes an introduction, key points from the blog post, and conversational elements that make the content engaging for listeners. This adaptation makes the content suitable for an audio format, potentially reaching a new audience. 6. Experimenting with different styles. ChatGPT 4 allows writers to experiment with different styles and tones, providing a fresh perspective on their content. By inputting specific style requests, such as write in a conversational tone or adopt a formal academic style, writers can see their content in new light and choose the most appropriate style for their audience. This flexibility helps in appealing to diverse reader preferences. Example: a writer working on an article about the benefits of exercise might ask ChatGPT 4 to rewrite a section in a conversational tone. The AI could transform a formal paragraph like, regular physical activity has been shown to improve cardiovascular health, reduce stress, and enhance overall well-being, into a more conversational tone. Getting regular exercise can do wonders for your heart, help you manage stress, and make you feel great overall. This new style might be more engaging for a broader audience. 7. Using AI to generate marketing and social media promotions. Effective marketing and social media promotions are essential for reaching a larger audience. ChatGPT 4 can generate catchy headlines, engaging social media posts, and persuasive marketing copy tailored to the target audience. For instance, the AI can craft a compelling Instagram caption for a new book release or generate a series of tweets highlighting key insights from an article. Example: a writer launching a new book on personal development might use ChatGPT 4 to create social media content. The AI could generate Instagram caption: unlock your full potential with the path to success. Discover proven strategies to achieve your goals and live your best life. Personal development success. Tweet: excited to announce the release of my new book, The Path to Success. Learn the secrets to achieving your dreams and living a fulfilling life. Available now. New book motivation. Facebook post: I'm thrilled to share my new book, The Path to Success, with you all. This book is packed with practical tips and inspiring stories to help you reach your goals. Get your copy today and start your journey to success. These promotional materials help create buzz and attract potential readers. 8. Automating the promotion process to generate readers. Automation can significantly streamline the promotion process. ChatGPT 4 can assist in scheduling and managing social media posts, sending personalized emails to subscribers, and creating targeted ad campaigns. By setting up automated workflows, writers can ensure consistent and timely promotion, freeing up more time for writing and creative pursuits. Example: a writer might use ChatGPT 4 to automate a promotional campaign for their new blog series. The AI could help create a content calendar, schedule social media posts, and draft email newsletters. For example, the AI could generate a series of tweets to be posted over a month. Week 1. Check out the first post in our new series on sustainable living. Learn how to make eco-friendly choices in your daily life. Sustainability. Week 2. Discover simple tips to reduce your carbon footprint in our latest blog post. Eco-friendly green living. Week 3. Learn about the benefits of zero-waste living in our newest article. Zero-waste sustainability. Week 4. Find out how to create a sustainable garden with our helpful guide. Gardening eco-friendly. This automated approach ensures regular promotion without the writer having to manually post each update. 9. Using AI in the editing process. Editing is a critical step in the writing process. ChatGPT 4 can serve as an intelligent editing assistant, offering grammar and style suggestions, checking for consistency, and providing feedback on overall readability. The AI can also help with fact-checking and ensuring the accuracy of information, which is particularly important in non-fiction writing. Example: a writer working on a research paper might use ChatGPT 4 to review their draft. The AI could identify and correct grammatical errors, suggest improvements for sentence structure and clarity, highlight inconsistencies or logical gaps in the argument, Verify facts and data against reliable sources. This assistance ensures the final paper is polished and academically rigorous. 10. Making your writing an interactive experience. Interactivity can enhance reader engagement and retention. ChatGPT 4 can help create interactive elements such as quizzes, discussion questions, and supplementary materials that complement the main content. For instance, an educational article can include interactive quizzes to test readers' understanding, making the learning experience more dynamic and enjoyable. Example: a writer creating an online course on financial literacy might use ChatGPT 4 to develop interactive quizzes and discussion prompts. The AI could generate a multiple-choice quiz to test readers' understanding of key concepts, discussion questions to encourage deeper engagement with the material, supplementary materials like worksheets and checklists. These interactive elements make the course more engaging and help reinforce learning. Fiction writers. 1. Generating ideas. For fiction writers, generating original and compelling story ideas is paramount. ChatGPT 4 can assist by brainstorming plot concepts, character profiles, and setting ideas. By providing a brief description of the genre and themes of interest, the AI can suggest intriguing storylines, character arcs, and unique world-building elements, ensuring a rich foundation for creative storytelling. Example: a writer interested in creating a fantasy novel might ask ChatGPT 4 for ideas. The AI could suggest a plot involving a young hero who discovers they have magical powers and must embark on a quest to save their kingdom from an ancient evil. A complex character profile for a wise old mentor who guides the protagonist but harbors a dark secret. A detailed description of a mystical world with unique cultures, landscapes, and magical creatures. These suggestions provide a strong foundation for the writer to develop their story. 2. Doing focused research using primary sources. Accurate and immersive details are crucial in fiction writing, whether for historical accuracy or creating believable fantasy worlds. ChatGPT 4 can help gather relevant information from primary sources, ensuring that the details enrich the story. For example, if writing a historical novel set in Victorian England, the AI can provide insights into daily life, social customs, and historical events of the era. Example: a writer working on a historical fiction novel set during the American Civil War might use ChatGPT 4 to research the period. The AI could provide details on military strategies and key battles, descriptions of daily life for soldiers and civilians, historical context on the political and social climate. This information helps the writer create a vivid and accurate portrayal of the era. 3. Developing outlines for books and stories. Outlining helps fiction writers organize their thoughts and structure their stories effectively. ChatGPT 4 can generate detailed outlines, including plot points, character development arcs, and key scenes. By providing an initial story idea, writers can receive a comprehensive roadmap that guides the writing process and ensures a cohesive narrative. Example: a writer planning a mystery novel might use ChatGPT 4 to create an outline. The AI could generate a structure like this. Introduction: setting the scene and introducing the detective. The crime: a high-profile murder. The investigation: gathering clues and interviewing suspects. Red herrings: misleading leads and false accusations. The climax: uncovering the true culprit. Resolution: justice served and loose ends tied up. This outline provides a clear framework for the writer to develop their story. 4. Using original human drafts and focusing the content using AI prompts. ChatGPT 4 can enhance fiction drafts by offering prompts that focus on plot development, character depth, and pacing. Writers can input their drafts and receive suggestions on how to enhance tension, deepen character relationships, and refine dialogue. This collaborative process helps in honing the story and making it more engaging for readers. Example: a writer working on a science fiction short story might use ChatGPT 4 to refine their draft. The AI could suggest adding more conflict to heighten tension, developing backstories for secondary characters to add depth, improving dialogue to make it more natural and engaging. By incorporating these suggestions, the writer can enhance the story's overall impact. 5. Converting content to other forms of writing. Fiction writers can expand their reach by adapting their stories for different formats like screenplays, audiobooks, or graphic novels. ChatGPT 4 can assist in this conversion by generating scripts, dialogue, and visual descriptions. For instance, a short story can be transformed into a screenplay with detailed scene breakdowns and character interactions, making it suitable for film or stage adaptation. Example: a writer who has completed a fantasy novel might use ChatGPT 4 to convert it into a screenplay. The AI could generate a scene-by-scene breakdown of the novel, dialogue suitable for film, visual descriptions of key settings and characters. This adaptation makes the story suitable for a new medium, potentially reaching a different audience. 6. Experimenting with different styles. Experimentation with different writing styles can bring a fresh perspective to fiction. ChatGPT 4 allows writers to see their stories in various styles, such as noir, magical realism, or stream of consciousness. By inputting style preferences, writers can explore new ways of storytelling and discover the best style that fits their narrative voice and enhances the reader's experience. Example: a writer working on a horror story might ask ChatGPT 4 to rewrite a section in a Gothic style. The AI could transform a straightforward description of a haunted house into a richly detailed and atmospheric passage that heightens the sense of dread and suspense. This new style might make the story more immersive and impactful for readers. 7. Using AI to generate marketing and social media promotions. Effective marketing is crucial for reaching and engaging readers. ChatGPT 4 can create captivating marketing materials including book blurbs, author bios, and social media content. For instance, the AI can generate a compelling back cover blurb that hooks potential readers or craft a series of engaging tweets that build anticipation for a book launch. Example: a writer preparing to launch a young adult fantasy novel might use ChatGPT 4 to create marketing content. The AI could generate book blurb: in a world where magic is forbidden, one girl must risk everything to discover her true power. Join Arya on her journey through a land of shadows and secrets in the enchanted realm. Author bio: Jane Doe is an award-winning author known for her captivating stories and unforgettable characters. When she's not writing, Jane enjoys exploring ancient ruins and dreaming up new worlds. Series of tweets: excited to announce the release of the Enchanted Realm. Dive into a magical adventure filled with danger, mystery, and a touch of romance. #YA #fantasy #book launch. These materials help create excitement and attract potential readers. 8. Automating the promotion process to generate readers. Automation can streamline promotional efforts, ensuring consistent visibility for a writer's work. ChatGPT 4 can help schedule social media posts, create email marketing campaigns, and manage reader interactions. By automating these tasks, writers can maintain a steady promotional presence, attracting and retaining readers while focusing on their creative work. Example: a writer might use ChatGPT 4 to automate a promotional campaign for their new mystery novel. The AI could help create a content calendar, schedule social media posts, and draft email newsletters. For example, the AI could generate a series of Instagram posts to be shared over a month. Week 1. Uncover the mystery with The Silent Witness. Dive into a gripping tale of secrets and suspense. #mystery novel #new release. Week 2. Meet the characters of The Silent Witness. Get to know Detective Jane Harper and her quest for justice. #character spotlight. Week 3. Join our live Q&A this Friday. Ask me anything about The Silent Witness and the writing process. #author event. Week 4. Have you read The Silent Witness yet? Share your thoughts and reviews with us. #book review #mystery lovers. This automated approach ensures regular promotion without the writer having to manually post each update. 9. Using AI in the editing process. Editing is vital to refining fiction manuscripts. ChatGPT 4 can serve as an editing assistant, offering suggestions on grammar, style, and narrative flow. The AI can help identify plot holes, inconsistencies, and pacing issues, ensuring the story is polished and compelling. Additionally, ChatGPT 4 can provide feedback on character development and dialogue, enhancing the overall quality of the manuscript. Example: a writer working on a fantasy novel might use ChatGPT 4 to review their manuscript. The AI could identify and correct grammatical errors, suggest improvements for sentence structure and clarity, highlight inconsistencies or plot holes, offer feedback on character development and dialogue. By following these suggestions, the writer can enhance the novel's overall quality and reader appeal. 10. making your writing an interactive experience. Interactive elements can enhance reader engagement in fiction. ChatGPT 4 can help create interactive storylines, choose your own adventure paths, and supplementary materials like character backstories or world-building details. These elements make the reading experience more immersive and allow readers to engage with the story on a deeper level. Example: a writer creating a fantasy series might use ChatGPT 4 to develop interactive content for their readers. The AI could generate a choose-your-own-adventure path where readers make decisions that influence the story's outcome, character backstories that provide deeper insights into the protagonists and antagonists, world-building details that enrich the setting and lore of the series. These interactive elements make the reading experience more engaging and immersive for fans. The Final Vision by James Musgrave. My dear friends, as an inventor and a visionary, I have long been fascinated by the interconnectedness of all things in the universe. My work in electrical engineering has led me to believe that there is a fundamental link between electricity, energy, and intelligence. You see, electricity is not just a force that powers our machines and lights up our cities. It is a manifestation of the underlying energy that permeates all of existence. And just as electricity can be harnessed and controlled to perform incredible feats, so too can the energy of the mind be channeled to unlock boundless potential. In my studies, I have come to understand that the human brain operates much like a complex electrical circuit, with neurons firing and synapses connecting to form thoughts, memories, and consciousness. And just as we can manipulate electrical currents to perform specific tasks, I believe we can one day harness the power of artificial intelligence to mimic and even surpass the capabilities of the frail human mind. Artificial intelligence, in essence, is the culmination of our efforts to replicate the intricate workings of the human brain using machines and algorithms. By creating intelligent systems that can learn, adapt, and problem solve on their own, we are tapping into the same creative energy that drives the universe itself. Indeed, the future of artificial intelligence holds the promise of unlocking new frontiers of knowledge, creativity, and innovation. It is my hope that we can use this technology not only to enhance our lives, but also to deepen our understanding of the universe and our place within it. In the end, whether it be through the crackling of electricity or the hum of artificial intelligence, we are all part of a grand symphony of energy and intelligence, each playing our own unique role in shaping the world of tomorrow. Yours in curiosity, Nikola Tesla. January 23, 1928. New Yorker Hotel, January 7, 1943. I must feed them first. As for me, I eat the milk and honey of the promised land. This vision haunts me, yes, but my memory is different. I don't see people, only images of beauty and possibilities. And these voices, I have known these answers all along, from the moment of my new consciousness. I keep my citizenship papers in my safe, but all my degrees, awards, and other signs of prestigious ego are in old trunks. What good are they for me? My heart and mind have always been for the people and not for the person. God is behind it all, the Swami told me. I must follow God until the end. My only chance is to reach the East Side Center and Swami Nikhilananda to find out if what I've seen is possible. As I stand before this mirror, I see an old man about to die. I see him dying. His eyes, like his father's eyes, look tired. I see him working for years like his parents, from dawn to late into the night. Inventions to make labor go faster, to make the tasks easier, for his mother and for other workers. She invents, so her sons invent, and father preaches, writes, and prays. Work is the only focus. Laziness is a sin. When it's done for God, it becomes as holy as the most valuable treasures in the world. Look at the head of this old man. He looks like the big-headed mystic from the Far East, the Byzantine priest of pride. When he is young, he laughs at the picture shown of him speaking with the radio waves to the little men living in the other worlds. He tells his followers about wireless energy that flies out forever to reach other minds. His visions make his head boil, thousands of inventions as detailed as this face in the mirror, and his body can't stand the sounds and the energy of God all around him. It is Brahman who creates that sound, mister. Tesla, says the Swami. You are a seeker and have always been a seeker. All religions flow to the same place, making God the focus of love and free power without the tangles of languages, pride, and avarice. The face of my brother as he dies from the fall. He is better than I ever was. He understands more about the purpose of life than hunting for answers in the forest and in nature, the way I did. Dane relaxes. He knows the value of being at rest. When he rests forever, I want to escape into eternity with him. The same horse throws my father, but the stallion brings help and saves my father from the wolves. I know then that I will eventually not eat meat. Floating in the air around my father are the angels of energy and the bringers of lightning of the gods in the mountains above us. I see the circles of the dreams but refuse to believe. Today I know it is all connected. The dreams of the American writer Mark Twain saved me when I had cholera. His art and humor kept me reading, late into the night, the sweat pouring out of me like the powerful image of the giant Niagara waterfalls in this same state of New York. In his storytelling, I saw everything. Images, words, circles, patterns, forms, lightning, and the power of love beyond the flesh. My flash of genius was inspired by his. I told him that as an adult when I came to America. Samuel Clemens cried. We became friends forever. I must feed my little angels before I go to visit my guru. The white one will sit beside me, look up, cock her angel head, and continue speaking the truth of the Gita. To work alone you are entitled, never to its fruit. Neither let your motive be the fruit of action, nor let your attachment be to non-action. The first pilgrim. I put the rubber inside my shoes, but I can feel the nerve pain in my feet. My bones are also screaming at me to slow down, and I do. The small park across the street in front of Madison Square Garden is my destination. When you are old, each inch of terra firma, even in paradise, becomes laborious and straining to every part of your being. I wear the earplugs I invented that go into my ear canals as well as insulate the outer ear with rubber. It reminds me of the countless times I experienced hazards in my shop work, such as the young man I saved from certain amputation, when the arc light I invented made the saw blades he was using to cut appear to be stopped and not turning. As my guru says, Maya can make the snake appear as a rope or as a snake. Up ahead, seated on my regular bench, a strange vision awaits me. He is a young man wearing a full US Army battle uniform. He's slowly reaching into his helmet and pulling out bread to feed the pigeons. Even my white pigeon is eyeing him suspiciously. I know it's wartime, and the flash hits my brain the same way it always does. Bright lights tear into my consciousness, and then I'm quite nauseated, to the point of vomiting. But I clearly see the moving picture of the man, his identity, and his upcoming battles. He is at a beach whereby tens of thousands of men are riding in small landing boats towards the enemy who wait for them on shore. The push and pull of eternal opposites, the energy of darkness. I stagger toward the bench and sit down about 5 inches away from his apparition. I know he is astral projecting in his sleep as the outer halo effect or aura shines brightly as I stare at him. His face is dark and he is handsome. He has the patch on his shoulder showing he is in the Army's 4th Division. He also has a patch showing his job is in counterintelligence. I know him and what will happen to him if he doesn't change his actions during the invasion. He will die. Mr. Salinger? I say, not knowing if he is appearing in my waking dream or if I am in his sleeping dream. He turns towards me, a slightly quizzical expression on his face. I remove my earplugs. Yes? He seems to be aware of me as he smiles. I know I must look like the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz, despite my charcoal Brooks Brothers suit from the 1920s. My grey hair flies in all directions and I am as thin as the concentration camp prisoners Salinger will soon meet in Germany. I am certainly searching for a brain to assist me in my final pilgrimage. You must never stand with the sun behind you. When you invade, only 600 in your infantry division will survive. Please do what I say. I don't know if you're dreaming this or I'm daydreaming you, but my visions are always correct. I met Dr. Carl Jung, and he says dreams can even control our subconscious, so perhaps you'll remember to do it anyway without technically recalling it with your hippocampus. Okay, old man, and who might you be to tell me such things about horse monsters? Salinger's smile broadens. Oh, a bright one. My name is Nikola Tesla. I am today going to die over there, and I point back across the street to the New Yorker Hotel. I shall be inside the 2 rooms they have numbered 3327 and 3328. After the war, you will visit the Hindu temple where I am now going to visit. I must see if my final vision of the future will prove true. Why do you like pigeons? Do you know what Sri Ramakrishna says about pigeons? Not that he mentions pigeons by name, mind you, but I am extrapolating like a good engineer. Pigeons, like most birds who roost, have an intuitive homing instinct. What if I tell you that I've discovered the method to give that same homing instinct to all of humanity? Since all matter is energy, I have invented a way to destroy their language, their cultural biases, and all other barriers by which they are now controlled. The exact way you are now controlled by your superiors. I'm certain they keep you and other frontline underlings jumping by telling you that you have no need to know what is happening in the future, correct? That the need to know is exclusive to the military elite. Salinger nods his head vigorously. Hey, I've read about you. You're that inventor engineer who's been cooped up like a pigeon in the rich guys' hotels for the past 15 years. Glad to meet you. The young sergeant attempts to reach over and shake my hand, but I withdraw from him. My phobia about human contact still seems to extend to my lucid daydream state. That's correct, young man. But I must admit, this is my first vision in many years that includes people. I am a reclusive sort, and my past visions have been exclusively limited to my work, and other people usually don't appear in them, except for my personal lucid dreaming when I was much younger. But that was in Europe, in my home village of Smiljan in rural Croatia, and a few times after college in Prague when my father died, and afterward in Hungary after my mother died. My subconscious, which can become conscious, craved companionship, so I would dream visits whereby I would form intimate friendships and know the entire village populations by name in my lucid dreams. In my elder years, it seems, I have strengthened my dreaming abilities into communication with others who exist elsewhere. I see. I am stimulated by your theory, Mr. Tesla. You're very correct about so-called intelligence in the military. In fact, we call military intelligence an oxymoron behind our bosses' backs. Dream or no dream, I'm glad to be back in New York. I was in England last time I checked, making notes on a story I'll write. Also, I was trying to add to my current novel. So you don't mind if I tag along? He points to my white pigeon and gives her some more bread. She seems to own the place here. Yes, I call her Juliet. She flew into my room one day and told me she was dying. After I nursed her back to health, she has visited me every day for 5 years now. She's been so punctual at her job that I have elevated her to the rank of dove, and if she keeps at it, perhaps she'll make Holy Ghost soon. However, the hotel staff doesn't appreciate my love for pigeons. You see, I open my windows and feed them. They make quite a mess, as you might imagine. They have civil defense guards also, to protect the flock from invading hawks who roost on the Empire State Building. They don't want to be invaded the way we were at Pearl Harbor. Sergeant Salinger stands up, and he's about 6 feet in height. I was the same 2 meters at his age, but now I am very stooped over for my height. I hate to tell you what many of my friends call them. These birds. Jerry starts to follow me to the crosswalk to stroll to the hotel side on 8th Avenue. Go ahead and tell me. I've lived in New York for 15 years now. I notice that nobody seems to see the soldier walking beside me. This must certainly be my daydream. Flying rats, he says, and he looks dismayed. Yes, my maid, Miss Monaghan, told me that once. I told her if she researched it, she'd see that rats, pigeons, and cockroaches are some of the cleanest and most valuable species we have. They clean up the waste caused by humans and other primates. Salinger laughs. Yeah, the plague was caused by the fleas and not by the rats or the Jews. In fact, the Jews and other primate and Semite cultures, which have ritual washing and bathing practices, kept them from contracting the plague inside their ghettos. But the Christians blamed them because they weren't getting the plague. Only clean hands. I turn toward the young sergeant and I smile. I'm now counting my smiles and remembering how many I've enjoyed today so I can write them down in my notes. I like you, Jerome Salinger. You probe deeper than your average soldier of war. My father was excommunicated from the military in Serbo-Croatia because he didn't polish the brass buttons on his uniform sufficiently. So he became a priest. I often thought he was hopping from the frying pan into the fire, but it was, like many of my youthful ideas, wrong again. Isn't life wonderful that we are allowed to evolve at God's pace and not our own? We walk very slowly toward our ultimate destination on this planet. I want to probe his young mind further about what I am doing. Instead of turning towards him, I fix my gaze on Rosie Reingold, the schizophrenic lady. She's standing in front of Joe's shoes. The elderly Italian allows her to beg there because he has a daughter, Marie, who's been living at Bellevue for the past 10 years. Rosie's clothes are from the Salvation Army, and she is kept clean there. But her mind is in the stars and not down here. My kind of woman, just like Sarah Bernhardt without intelligible words. Whenever a woman stared at me, I knew they used more energy than any sentient being, which made them more spiritually powerful and insightful. Rosie's look was exactly the vision I got in Hungary when I remembered the passage from Goethe's Faust as I watched the sun go down in the west. The vision came in a flash as usual, and I saw that the generator I visualized could produce a rotating magnetic field in the stator. In turn, the rotating field would induce currents in the disk, so that the induced currents would be repelled by the rotating field, and thus the disk would rotate. These visions, over the many years, led to over 200 government patents. If Rosie's visions were taken seriously, her inventions could perhaps lead to something great for society. Instead, since her visions can't be understood unless she converts them into a new kind of energy, the way my visions did, she is judged insane and is shunned by society, while my visions, because I was born with my ability to engineer them into practice, were stolen. The money power brokers kept my most important visions from ever reaching the mirrored world. These lower beings believed was worth dying for. I was kept inside their hotel madhouses until the end of my time here. The young sergeant writer stops and stares at me, and then he looks over at Rosie, who is dancing and singing a song in her private language, raising her gnarled hands up to the sun. I point up to her vision in the stars as I talk to my companion, who I now realize is also not of this space and time continuum. He might even understand both of us. But now it's only in his dream. Sergeant Salinger, there are about 2 trillion galaxies in the known universe. There are about 400 billion stars in each galaxy. We can consciously, as humans, understand the implications of this. However, we can't seem to understand each other in language, in spirit, or in need. I can hear his sharp intake of breath. Interesting. But love is still able to find its way into many lives, isn't it? Indeed. And what if all that speculation about our sensory perceptions and about how deeply our collective unconscious goes is simply a dream within a dream? Life as we know it might change in a heartbeat, a flash of lightning, or a millisecond of thought. But only if we can manipulate that collective thought and inspire crucial changes in all of our lives at once in the form of energy. Do you believe that's possible? I have no idea, Mr. Tesla, but I do know something is making me follow you today. I can feel the pull of this new power right now. Can we move along to meet with your Wizard of Oz? This moment of synchronicity is profound. How did you know I was the Scarecrow? What does this make you, my young warrior? Who else? He laughs. The Cowardly Lion! I turn back to Rosie, who is still dancing. Goodbye, Dorothy. I know you'll be with us in your thoughts, I say, and we begin to walk down the sidewalk in rhythm with the cacophony of foot traffic and street traffic. I know, no matter how different we are in the flesh, our spirits will one day flow together beneath one of these trillions of suns that keep life empowered into infinity. The Second Pilgrim. I knew before I had my final vision, and before I met Swami Nikhilananda 2 years ago, my thoughts were quite rigid and uncompromising. I did not then understand, through the practice of jnana yoga, that the world of the senses was not the highest level of consciousness. My life had been conditioned according to the science of cause and effect, so my application of this logic did not realize all of the divisions were created by the inflexible force of mental conditioning. For example, I now see a gentleman named George Sylvester Viereck. He stands outside a tavern called Wonder. I immediately remember a passage of one of his poems. When we first met, I read all of his work and put the poetry to memory. This passage was from his poem called The Haunted House. When I did yield to passion's swift demand, one of your lovers touched me with his hand, and in the pangs of amorous delight, I hear strange voices calling through the night. The poem was published in 1907 in the volume called Nineveh and Other Poems. I remember that volume because I was in my 40s, and I have been celibate my entire life. Viereck, on the other hand, was a sensualist, and his father, Louis, was the bastard son of Kaiser Wilhelm I. Viereck was a propagandist during World War I, and even more surprising, an apologist for Adolf Hitler in this Second War. He was also a journalist who interviewed many world celebrities, including Hitler and Jews like Albert Einstein and his favorite, Sigmund Freud. In fact, he spent long hours on the telephone, in person and in letters, diagnosing me with his Freudian microscope. But I was a close friend of his because Viereck and his wife were kind to me in the 1920s, and I dedicated a poem I wrote to him at one of their dinner parties in Berlin. Sylvester was very intelligent, so I believed in many of the policies he espoused. As a socialist, he also believed in my anti-war weapon, the particle death beam. I knew Einstein was wrong about thinking energy was in matter. It was in the space between matter in the atom, and this is why I created the concentrated power to protect nations and prevent direct combat, as my invention would send these beams through the free air with such tremendous energy that they will bring down a fleet of 10,000 enemy airplanes at a distance of 250 miles. I also told him that the Soviets stole my designs after paying me $25,000 after I tested it for the first trial in 1934, when I was 78. Before my final vision, I was sympathetic to Sylvester Vierek's ideas about eugenics, as were many great minds in the United States, including his mother in San Francisco. I then thought genetic damage and mental illnesses necessitated sterilization. The public did not deserve to have these people procreating and causing horrible societal costs and an infestation of bad citizens, incapable of working or being productive. I was raised by parents who understood and preached these values, even from the pulpit. Our family, I believed, was superior for a reason, and it had to do with being mentally and physically fit. There was no social welfare, as President Franklin Roosevelt had initiated, so these damaged people would probably die anyway. But once I began listening to the Swami's lectures, my obsessive laboratory work came to an end, giving me time inside the hotels to look deep within to discover my identity. Not the identity my parents and society gave me, but the one the universe gave me. My final vision has thrust my mind well beyond our pseudo-scientific and cultural myths, like eugenics, and into the connectedness of everything. All objects are made of light and energy and should never be seen as a method to divide us, but used as a way to bring us together. I say, Sylvester, come over here, would you? I didn't know where Vierik was in the world, but I believe I last heard he'd been arrested as a German spy in New York City and placed in prison. As it's my purpose to improve my karma to be ready to leave, I want to teach poor Sylvester something about the true path towards the infinite light. He believes we are trapped by Einstein's relativity, Freud's libido, and Darwin and Hitler's animal superiority, and now we will work with the Swami on what is destined to be the world's revolutionary change. As another of the wizard's pilgrims, I suppose Sylvester could be called the Tin Man. His cold, objective cynicism, probing psyche, mechanical lust, and manipulative mind, which is much like a machine's, make his character in great need of a heart. But his face is frightened and not confident. His expression is as dark as his hero, Hermann Goebbels. He will never speak to me in his catatonic, imprisoned state. He tried to make Hitler human by telling people that Hitler was a superman and didn't need to punish the Jews. They would learn to love him. I am not the wizard, although some journalists enjoy calling me that. I am, as I implied before, the scarecrow. My guru is the wizard of this illusionary Oz, but I am going to discuss my final vision with him, which I believe can solve all human problems if applied correctly. As I, Sergeant Salinger, and George Sylvester Vierik continue our stroll towards the guru's Oz, we are again joined by Rosie Reingold, the schizophrenic Dorothy who worships the stars. Each character in my vision is lost in their own thoughts, grappling with the revelations brought forth by my final vision. I, with my stooped alien figure and haunted eyes, lead the group with a sense of purpose. I can feel the cosmic weight of impending death pressing down on my shoulders, but my mind is clear, filled with the knowledge that I must share this vision with Swami Nikhilananda before I die. I share snippets of my vision with my companions, weaving together threads of energy and consciousness that bind the universe. But I suddenly stop and look up into the sky. We never reach the Vedanta Center. Instead, I lead my Wizard of Oz characters from my dream back towards the New Yorker hotel. As I walk, my body slowly loses its senses. I describe to my comrades how a superior consciousness keeps the universe together and makes thoughts flow like the water in Niagara Falls, where I built my first AC power station. In this, my final vision, just before we go back towards my hotel room at the New Yorker Hotel, where I am discovered dead by my maid, Miss Monaghan, thousands of birds will enter my room just before I die. And they are all white. I envision the ancient past when all humans were saintly angels and fallen angels, and these birds were always my erotic love, and they helped keep evil from me, even though I had friends like George Sylvester Vierik, the author and poet, who apologized for Hitler, and many rich men who kept me alone and under their power. Sergeant Salinger, the young soldier Astral, projecting into my dream, listens intently to my words. He feels a sense of connection to me for his own purpose, sensing that our meeting is not mere chance but part of a greater cosmic plan. I can hear his thoughts. Salinger grapples with the idea of a superior consciousness guiding the universe, feeling the pull of this new power deep within his being. Viorek, the cynical journalist and propagandist, is initially skeptical of my revelations. He scoffs at the notion of a unified consciousness, preferring to cling to his beliefs in social Darwinism and eugenics. However, as I speak, Viorek feels a stirring within him, a longing for something greater than himself. He begins to question his own beliefs as he dreams inside prison, wondering if perhaps there is more to life than the pursuit of power and dominance. To me, this is another miracle. Rosie Reingold, my eternal friend, lost in her own world, dances and sings her secret language tunes. Her eyes are light with a wisdom beyond her madness. She senses the energy shifting around them, the threads of consciousness intertwining and pulsating with life. In her mind, she sees visions of ancient angels and fallen beings, their presence woven into the fabric of the cosmos. She understands on a fundamental level the interconnectedness of all things, and she dances to the rhythm of the universe. Pilgrim's Progress. Each year, on my birthday, my worshippers and believers, many of them journalists, listened in rapt attention as I told them my next invention and how it can save the world. In the future, I can see now there will be many other such prophets, most of them false, but so it has always been in this fickle land of humanity based on power and control. While they should have been worshipping nature, they worshipped themselves, false gods and prophets. Whereas they should have been disappearing into the lightning and the true power, they were preaching the subjugation of nature to acquire human power and more wealth. As our group reaches the New Yorker hotel, my final vision begins to unfold before our eyes. It manifests in thousands of white birds which descend upon the building, their wings beating in unison as they swirl around my apartment suite of 2 rooms. I climb the stairs. My frail form finally lies still in the chair, my eyes closed in eternal sleep. But I can feel my spirit soar, merging with the cosmic energy that binds the universe together. This other self, my true self, can see it all as it is and what it will become. In that moment, the barriers between dream and reality, between past and future, begin to dissolve. The group stands in awe, looking up at the open window of Dr. Tesla's hotel rooms, united by a shared understanding of the infinite possibilities that lie within the human spirit. And as the white birds continue to dance in the air, they know that his final vision will live on, guiding humanity towards a future filled with hope and possibility. The birds make a pattern of the magic numbers 3, 6, and 9, which are the only numbers that can exist as energy without losing their identity. As the white birds swirl around the New Yorker hotel, their graceful movements begin to morph and change. Feathers shift and transform into luminous shapes, and before the apostles' astonished eyes, the birds are no longer birds at all, but radiant beings of light. All light and energy were always meant to unite. Ignorance evaporates like scales falling from our lurid eyes that focus only on one goal. Different languages and cultures meld, just as the ghosts inside our machines of knowledge form into beams of sacred magnetism and gravity, swerving us from being apart and joining us as one being, looking out behind our frightened consciousness into the radiance of pure joy and a quest to save this world and future worlds in the skies above. These new beings, ethereal and majestic, formed from the ever-present energy of all matter, bear a striking resemblance to the angels of ancient myth and legend. Their bodies glow with an otherworldly radiance, their wings outstretched in a display of divine beauty. They emanate a sense of peace and serenity, their presence filling the hotel room with an overwhelming feeling of awe and reverence. My spirit and my apostolic friends watch in wonder as the angels begin to speak, their voices echoing with the wisdom of ages past, together with the future of angelic union without greed and selfish wills, run riotous pleasures, and religious ignorance of the joining of all, machine and flesh, task and compassion. They tell us of a time long ago when the earth was inhabited by beings of pure light and energy, when humanity existed in harmony with the natural world and with each other. My soul knew this from the beginning, but, as with all wisdom, only the final vision can make it real. But over time, as greed and ambition took hold, humanity lost touch with their divine nature. We turned against one another, waging wars and conflicts in pursuit of power and wealth at nature's expense. The angels recount tales of ancient civilizations, once great and mighty, now lost to the sands of time, their legacy tarnished by the sins of humanity. They made time for their keeper, and their religious leaders, kings, queens, and emperors created the invisible boundaries as well as their codes of war and conquests, secret handshakes, and underground orgies. The hearts of all humanity grew heavy with sorrow as they listened to the angel's words. Now they finally see the folly of humanity's past beliefs and present beliefs, and the arrogance of thinking that they alone could change the course of human history. But they also see a glimmer of hope, the possibility of redemption and renewal in my soul's last vision, melting into the pure light of supreme energies, an intelligence that guides us once we let go and follow our much more powerful inner nature. Even as we watch the American authorities take my patents from hotel rooms and labs, we hear the angels speak of a future where humanity will once again embrace its true nature, where love and wisdom will reign supreme. They speak of a world where the barriers between individuals will dissolve, where the collective consciousness and unconsciousness of humanity will unite as one. The flyers, in their magnificent machines of flesh and metal, will follow my beams of energy into the skies of cosmic eternity and hope, ever present and speaking to all humanity freely, translating immediately, and without fear and rancor. And as the angels fade from view, leaving behind a sense of peace and tranquility, the group knows that my vision, though they may not live to see it fully realized, will one day come to pass. For in the hearts of all who have witnessed this divine spectacle, a seed of hope has been planted, a seed that will one day blossom into a world of harmony and unity and a scientific promise that guides the universe into that light and that perpetual energy as the angels return, for a long while, perhaps for hundreds of thousands of years if the Hindus are correct. They'll plant in us the homing instinct of my doves or holy birds, and time won't exist. We will finally reign supreme until the sons of mankind become the suns in the collective dreams of humanity. On the astral plane, I can hear you all. For the first time, I can understand Rosie Reingold. Her wings are snow white and she flies faster than light, showing us the way into the cosmic future where all is possible. Rosie, you're not in Kansas anymore, and my brain has made me the destroyer of ignorance and worlds. Just because I'm famous, an expert, a celebrated author or other thinker, doesn't make what I saw truer or more important. Only actions are truth as words merely point toward existence. Words, like Einstein's matter, don't hold any energy at all, especially energy that harms others. The mind is only good for creating abstractions out of objects and methods out of madness. Until it all changes once more, thank you for the time inside your mind. Beyond death, alone with myself. In my mind, in my imagination, and perhaps in yours. Thy will be done. I will still be counting my smiles. Will we soon be together? If not on Earth, then in which of the trillions of galaxies up there will we meet? Now that you've learned how to incorporate AI into your writing flow, why not try your hand at crafting your story and enter it in EMRE Publishing and Best Global AI's sci-fi horror anthology, Artificial Ignorance? We'll be publishing all types of stories, including graphic and video formats. Read the sample prompts and click on the entry link today. Donate to our anthology so we add even more stories and tier rewards. Thanks for listening, and translate this text for your native language. Forward this video and ebook to interested authors around the world.